Welcome to another lesson plan for the Leadership Journey Anderson Hauser Summit Series. I'm your host, Kit Alowitz, checking in today from down under just to introduce this next lesson that I'm very excited that you're engaging in. This particular lesson has some absolutely amazing insights and possibilities for you as you are on the journey of self-discovery. Now, like you've heard me say repeatedly, when we take time to look at this, the way that we see things, the way that we see things changes. And this lesson is no exception. There's a handful of things I'd like to alert you to as you prepare to dive into this lesson. First off, this lesson has some 21 components to it. We really went deep and we really went large in terms of the types of content that you'll be exposed to in this particular lesson. The most exciting part, perhaps, is that finally, after nearly 2.5 years, we are introducing the concept of institutionalization along the journey towards preeminence. Now, as you remember, institutionalization is the third I in the series towards becoming preeminence. First, you must internalize, then you must integrate, and finally, you must institutionalize. You will see some pretty interesting content as we try to understand what institutionalization is and it is not. And it has been my own journey trying to figure it out because it's not easy. And in fact, in the final analysis, this is the stumbling block, the hiccup, the roadblock, the speed bump that tends to get in the way of most organizations moving to a level of preeminence. They get stuck at integration. Why? Because institutionalization is a hard concept. It's easy to maybe talk about, but hard to execute, because if you force institutionalization, by default, you are not institutionalizing. How about that? I can't even say it. So I hope you'll find some great opportunity for you to do some self-reflection, because we are on this journey together, and in the final analysis, it is up to you, it is up to me, it is up to our functional groups to figure out what is our obligation as an organization, as individuals, as functional groups, to really adopt, internalize, and institutionalize the principles on our way to preeminence. Another thing that you'll be introduced to in this lesson is the idea of bias. We also are kind of peeling back the onion to understand what is bias, conscious bias, but even more importantly, what is unconscious bias, which is very similar to this idea of tacit underlying assumptions that we've talked a whole bunch about, which for me personally is a huge undertaking in trying to understand. Let me also note that you will be introduced or give the opportunity to have at least 8 YouTube videos in this particular lesson that deal with some of the complex topics that we've been trying to explore. Things like emotional intelligence, emotional maturity, the foundational 5 principles of the LEAD program. We'll also introduce you to kind of a real right-brained activity around yoga. We did some crazy trapeze yoga things in this particular lesson as it relates to the summit. So I hope you'll enjoy those, that you'll take time, that you'll stop and think, that you'll participate in the online chatter groups so that you can increase your wisdom and knowledge on the way to your own personal and organizational preeminence. Enjoy.